This episode contains mature language and situations. Listener discretion is advised. You wake to the sound of a train. The clack, clack, clack of wheels. In the distance, is that the sound of birds in a forest? No. It's angels in a choir. Or is it demons from hell? It doesn't matter. You have no memory of how you got here. All you know is that you're lost, and that now you belong to the Grey Rooms. Good evening, roomies. We have a special treat for you tonight as we look back on our Season 4 journey through hell and beyond. Our staff has worked hard to bring you quality horror entertainment, and the Grey Rooms Productions is proud to present the first half of Season 4. All aboard the Silver Express and ride at your own risk. And we'd like to remind everyone that the Grey Rooms Productions has expanded its reach. We now have access to Control Operator Jeff and the Ghost Signal podcast. True tales about hauntings, sightings, the paranormal, and exorcisms from beyond the grave. So search the Ghost Signal on Spreaker or your favorite podcatcher and visit Jeff and the Ghost Signal at theghostsignalpodcast.com. So without further ado, please enjoy our compilation episode, part 1 of 2.
The actual fuck. Okay. Where in the hell am I? Hello? Fuck. Okay. Take it easy, girl. You've been through worse. This isn't like Tikal, all those goddamn vampires. This is a train. A nice train. Ooh, train with a bar. Wait, how the heck did I get on a train? How much did I drink last night? Wait, what did I do last night? If this is a joke, then...
Oh, shit! Oh, please, don't kill me. Stay back. Tell Ripper I don't have it. I'll have it next week, but I don't have it now, and I'm not going to be able to give it to him if you kill me. So please don't kill me.
Whoa, hey, take it easy, guy. I don't work for, Ripper, whoever that is. Calm down.
No one in the history of the galaxies has ever calmed down when they were told to calm down. I will not calm down. Who the hell are you? And what the hell is this place?
I don't know where we are. I just woke up, same as you. I don't know how I got here.
Probably some kind of arcology transit system. Have you looked outside yet? Oh, I bet we're in one of those nasty little belter stand-ups you find sometimes, on the edges of systems, sent off to be slave labour in some mine for a syndicate somewhere. Though, I guess this place is kind of nice, isn't it? If we are on a syndicate arcology slave train of death and despair, I'm guessing the decor would be more... utilitarian?
I don't know what you're on about, but yeah, calm down, all right? Calm down.
Okay.
Do you always talk this much?
Only when I'm stressed out. Findlay.
What now?
My name is Findlay.
Oh, mine is Imani.
Nice to meet you, Imani. Shake? Grandad always said, gotta shake a man's hand to know if they're worth a damn.
Sure. Interesting arm you've got there, Findlay.
Oh, this? Well, it's an off-the-rack model, but it's the most recent gen. Really nice tech from those silicon spiders at the bottleneck. I've got a universal socket popped in there, so it's much easier than it used to be to swap it out. Are you thinking of an upgrade?
Okay, real talk. I didn't understand half of what you just said, but this thing is so cool. I didn't think cybernetics were this far along.
Didn't think? What are you talking about? Are you from a retro tech colony or something? One of those religious sanctuaries?
Slow down, fast talker. Let's get ourselves sorted. I'm a researcher out of the London Battle Group. I specialize in ancient religions and mysticism as it impacts sweep and clear operations. What battle group are you with?
Now I have no idea what you're talking about. What's a London?
Are you putting me on?
No! What's a London, Imani? You're freaking me out.
Stop yelling at me, Findlay.
Stop freaking me out, Imani!
Hey, since neither of you know what's going on, would you shut the hell up?
God damn it, Findlay, stop yelling! And who the fuck are you?
Me? I'm bored. I thought I'd gain some kind of tactical advantage listening in. But I've reached the conclusion you're both too stupid to be helpful, so... Where I come from, you look out the window to find out where you are. So why don't we shed a little light on our situation? That's not possible. Where the hell are we?
What was that? Was that a fire? Did anyone else?
Who cares about the lake? What was that thing on the far side?
I've seen worse. Were those horns? How tall was that thing?
I don't need to know where we are. I don't give a shit who you are. I'm getting out of here.
Unfortunately, everyone, that won't be possible.
Everybody do like the fish says and shut up. That's better. You, and you, sit. You want to know where you are? You want answers? We've got some. Any of you gets fidgety or tries to leave the car, I slice your goddamn head off. All right?
That's better. Okay. Let's start with some basics. My name is Caliban, and my horned companion is Cries.
She's a...
Yeah, I'm a demon. You want to make a big deal about it?
No.
We're all an interesting lot. Yes, Cries is a demon, and I am... well, I'm not human either.
Well, how can we tell with that mask you're wearing?
The mask is for your protection, young one. I'm sorry to say the face my mother gave me tends to make a bad first impression. Perhaps as we get to know each other better.
We're going to become good friends, are we?
I certainly hope so. We should continue with introductions. Our militant friend, very much not a fish, correct?
Correct. Don't call me that again. I'm not a fish. I'm from Virix.
Sure. Could have fooled me, but sure.
The name is Zuck. I've done a lot of things over the years, but I'm a soldier first and foremost. I've killed a lot of cybernetically enhanced humans like you, buddy. A lot.
And I've never seen or heard of your species, buddy.
You live under a rock?
Please, let's move on. I think the three of you will find there are many new experiences you can share with each other. And your name, my dear?
Amani Talib, London Battle Group, AR&M, for sweep and clears. My big operations were Tikal and San Francisco, and I did prep work and prelims for Berlin, Chicago, and Tokyo. I get that you need to do this orientation or whatever, but I don't remember volunteering for this detail. What about my outfit?
I understand, madam. You're worried about your fellows, scouring the earth of darkness, right? I can assure you that your battle group is not impacted by your presence here. I promise. Which leaves you, my augmented friend.
Oh, hey, yeah, I'm Findley. Findley Montgomery. I'm an engineer? A cybernetics engineer. Last thing I remember, I was sacking out in my flat on Karen Station. How did we get here?
More importantly, why are we here?
2 shiny coins for the smart fish.
Indeed. Why are you here? That's the question, isn't it?
All 3 of you are special. Chosen. You've got potential.
Cries and I represent an interested party that wants to harness your special nature, to channel it. That's why you've been brought here. The train you're aboard is called the Silver Express. As you've seen out the window, we're traveling across well, it's a bit of a strange countryside.
Where we are isn't important. What's important is your duty, your task. You only have one thing you have to do while you're with us.
Occasionally, the train will stop at a station. We have a stop coming up in... Oh, not long at all now.
At each stop, one of you has to get off the train. We don't give a shit which one. But one of you has to step off onto the platform and enter one of the station doors.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, not entirely it. You see, and this is a bit complicated to explain, but at every station, the guest who leaves the train will choose what door to enter. Behind each door, every time, you die. Grise and I don't know how or in what way, but we're reliably informed that the experience will be quite terrible.
Sorry, huh? What do you mean we'll die?
I know, it's a lot to take in, but each door holds a sort of tale. A little drama that plays out with you as the starring role. And every time, at the end of every tale, lies your death. Your painful, gruesome death.
Why would we agree to this?
Oh, it's not permanent. We'll pick you up again further down the track, drop you off in your sleeper car.
We die, but it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
So, it's just torture. This is all a complicated torture.
Oh, I'm afraid we can't relate to you why this is happening. Management has given us a great deal of leeway to explain things to you, but that's not something we can discuss.
Hey, it's not all bad. In the meantime, you're free to walk the train. Each of you has nice rooms. We'll stop for supplies to stock the dining car now and again.
I know she may be intimidating, but Miss Cries is actually a very talented chef. Mwah.
See, hold a blade like this. It cuts through 8 mortals in like 4 seconds. Screams carnage, beauty. Hold it like this. It cuts through onions, celery, delicious. Knives are just like people. Everything is in context.
Hey, that's great, but you're fucking crazy if you think I'm going to die just because you tell me to. No way.
I understand your fear, Findley. I do. But every one of you has to leave the train. As she said, we leave it to the 3 of you to decide what sort of order you take. But this isn't a request. It's a requirement.
And, if we don't, what then?
Look, there are people watching us real closely right now. So I'm gonna be as civil as I can be. Don't fuck with us. Management has put a lot of effort into making this thing palatable for you squishy, disgusting soul slugs. If I had my choice, I'd rip this little shit's arm off and beat him to death with it. Snap your spine, little scholar, and mount the fish's head on that wall, the knife.
But that's not how this is going to go. We are your attendants, after all. Ultimately, we are here to make you comfortable. You just have to let us do our jobs. We have plans. And our plans include the 3 of you. I know this is a lot to take in. But we've reached our first stop. And so it's time to choose. Who will go? What door shall you pick?
I can't, please. I don't...
I'll do it.
What?
You said we die, but we come back, right?
That's correct.
And there's nothing to be afraid of. I faced death dozens of times, not sure if I'd make it. Never sure if I'd see tomorrow. If I know I'm going to die, well, no mystery to it, is there? And I still get to see tomorrow.
That's a very healthy attitude.
Thanks, Duck.
Yeah. Thanks.
Just remember this.
Cries, would you be so kind as to see them to the door? I'll stay with Miss Imani and Mr. Findlay, and we can continue our conversation.
Sure. Follow me, fish.
Don't call me fish.
Sure, whatever. Feel that heat. Here's your station. 2 doors, pick one and step through. That's it.
Team Spirit and Venus Flytrap. Well, given the choice, I know which one I'll pick. You'll pick me up, you said.
Don't worry, fish. You'll be back swimming in your bowl before you know it.
All right, let's get this over with.
Hey, fish!
Yeah,
Welcome to the Grey Rooms.
what the hell are the Grey Rooms?
I'm up, Captain, I'm up. Jesus. Oh. Right. Still on the train. What time is it? What the? Was that the door lock?
Tell me what that was. What were those things? Those smiles. How were they alive? They shouldn't have been alive.
Zuck? Hey, Zuck.
Imani, did you hear that?
Yeah. Did they lock your door?
I think so. I woke up as he went past. And I didn't really want to leave, you know.
Here, follow me, Finley.
Where are we going?
I did some walking around earlier. I think I know where his room is. It's halfway down. Do you see anyone?
No. No horns, no mask. I think our attendants have moved on.
Zuck, hey. You alright? Zuck?
Get out of here! Go!
We're back at the lounge car. How? I thought it was the other way.
It happened when I was walking around earlier, too. I think the train cars move somehow as you go through the doors.
That's not possible.
Unless I'm seeing this wrong, I think this train is riding through some kind of swamp made of writhing corpses.
What the hell is that thing over there? Are those wings?
No. So, funny story. Not the first time I've seen something like that. Those are tentacles. Ugh, I want a drink.
You lead a more interesting life than I do.
You see one class 4 elder being, hey, you've seen them all. Your battle group never saw anything like that?
Okay, battle group. What's that?
Well, are you going to start yelling at me again that I'm freaking you out?
I will try not to freak out. Again.
Okay. Here.
Cheers.
Gunbye.
That's not half bad. What was the label?
A guy getting flayed alive? It's a whiskey. That's all I know.
This place, man. Are you still looking at the tentacle guy out the window?
Yeah, it's bizarre. I've never seen an elder act like this. It's like, I don't know, harvesting the corpses? I mean, to be fair, usually when I see these things in the field, I'm actively trying to destroy them.
Battle group.
Right. Okay, so just to confirm some things, have you ever heard of Earth?
I guess. It's some shithole planet, midpoint on the disk, right?
Alright, so, where I come from my Earth, humanity hasn't gone into space in a long time. And even then, it was just some space stations and shuttles and things. My whole life has been spent trying to claw humanity back from a really dark place. And I mean that literally. My planet was ruled by a dark goddess for, well, we're not really sure. A long time. Maybe 100 years?
What?
Yeah, that's what the battle groups are. Think of it like my, I guess, extended family? Like a clan. The goddess died maybe 10, 15 years before I was born. By then, my group had been able to carve out a relatively comfortable existence. We hooked up with other clans for what we called sweep and clears, pushing through the ruins of the old world cities, trying to clear out the, things that infested our world.
Things like Tentacle Guy.
I don't know what kind of spooky myths you guys have in space or whatever, but on my world, every dark, twisted, evil monster turned out to be real. And something that could tear you limb from limb.
Bane. That's dark.
I mean, it was a living. Hey, speaking of that, I still don't remember how I got here, do you?
No.
Let's see, I remember... The last thing I remember before I woke up here was a completely normal day. We'd been on an extended patrol in London. That's a big city on my planet. Used to be one of the biggest, oldest ones in the world.
Ah, got it.
We finally had some rec time. A couple of days off to rest and research before our next go.
Research?
Yeah. My specialty is digging into old religions, mystic traditions, stuff people believed in the old world. A lot of that stuff has hints about the creatures that stalked our world. Cracking the books made us better at monster hunting. What about you, Robo-Man?
Not a robot. Cybernetics.
Ah, right.
Yeah, I'm a cyberdoc. Lived on a pretty big way station in the Zag. The Zagreus Cloud. We called it the Zag. It's one of the 12 galaxies.
12?
Yeah. The ship drive made it pretty easy to get around.
Between galaxies?
Well, yeah. Is that weird?
I mean, it is for me, but again, it seems pretty clear you and I don't know, I think we're from different dimensions or something?
Is that a thing?
I don't have a good yardstick for what is and is not a thing. I spent my 20th birthday defending the rooftop of a stone ziggurat from a horde of vampires.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you're a doctor. What was the last thing you remember before you woke up here?
I don't remember a lot. Just a pretty normal day. Kicked back with a beer at Donovan's down the street. Hung out with my crew. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Who's Ripper?
Ah.
Fuck, I need to put bells on you two.
Hey, Cries.
Oh, God.
Hope you're enjoying the booze, I guess. But when have you ever stopped coming up?
Yeah.
Does it have to be one of us?
Like the elf said, it's up to you guys. I can go grab the fish and toss him out onto the platform if you want.
No. No. Finley, we can't make him go again. Come on, it's one of our turns.
I can't. I don't think I can do it. You heard him. He was a soldier, Imani. A hard boy. And he was still fucking screaming his head off. I'm just... me. I can't.
All right. I'll take this one.
Oh, Bane. Imani, I can't... Thank you.
But you better buck up, boyo, cuz you're up next.
But what if we just don't? What if we just stay on the train?
Oh, please. Try. I have some blades I haven't been able to play with yet.
Nah, I'll go. But next time it's you. All right, gorgeous. Lead on. Two doors, huh?
Yup. You pick a door and walk through. Not much to it.
Why?
Huh?
Why do we pick a door? Why do I have to choose between Smile and Sunday afternoon?
You pick a door because I have a razor-sharp knife I want to put in your organs. That's why.
I know. You're terrifying. But you can't just tell me why you're doing this? Kidnapping us to ride around on a train and pick doors and then die? It all seems so complicated.
No.
Okay then. I pick, I guess, Smile, if that matters.
Matters to someone. Not me. Happy dying.
Just a moment in time. It's just a moment in time. Just a moment in time. Moment in time. Moment in time.
What the hell?
We're still moving. Have a drink, eat some food. Stop worrying.
You're only saying that because you've already done it. You've gone through a door. Why wouldn't I worry? I still have to...
Die. You still have to die. Oh, there's garlic and butter on this bread.
Imani, you still don't want to talk about it?
No, I really don't.
I just mean, I think it would help if I had some idea of what you went through.
I promise you it wouldn't, Finley.
Admirable. How quickly you've recovered. It took me hours to calm down.
I've had some training.
I thought I'd seen damned near everything there was to see. But what I experienced beyond that door, I wasn't ready for it. not by half. So, as I said, admirable.
Thanks. I guess.
No, you see, you're just trying to spook me. Aren't you, Zook? Right?
Not everything is about you, human. As you said, you're next. If I were you, I'd spend less time worrying and more time preparing myself for the trial ahead.
Oh, screw you, fish. You wouldn't understand.
Hey!
I understand well enough that you're a coward.
Hey!
I could turn you into paste, you scaly fuck. Want a demonstration?
Hey, enough! Sit, both of you. I'm nursing a witch of a headache, and the idea of chewing anything right now makes me want to vomit. Let me nurse my coffee and bourbon in peace.
We were going to compare notes.
Right.
Have you remembered anything else about how you got here?
No, still just a big blur. How about you? Anything?
No, nothing. I was out with some of the others from my crew. We were at a kind of way station. Very nice. Tropical, lots of rain, soft breezes. Are you familiar with the concept of alcoholic drinks with little umbrellas in them?
I mean, yeah. I don't think I've ever had one, but I've seen pictures.
Ah, well, that's the kind of place I was at. Spending some of our payment after a long, protracted job. We sat down at a table in this little bar. I remember looking around the place, making sure we were in friendly territory. And that's it. The next thing I recall, I was waking up on that couch, hearing the two of you talking.
All right, Robo-Man, your turn. You remember anything? And who's Ripper?
Oh, now I can talk.
Come on, man. Don't be like that. We're in this together, right?
Right. I don't remember much more than either of you. I'm an engineer and doctor, okay? I specialize in, well, this kind of stuff. I'd finished up my last patient for the day. Lady wanted new eyes. Easy stuff. I have a little lab set up for myself in the storage unit of my flat. I clocked in there, started tinkering with a few things. It was getting late. You asked who Ripper is. He's this guy. Where I'm from, you need protection, right? If you're going to do the kind of work I do, the gear I deal with every day is valuable. And so I made arrangements with Ripper and his guys to keep me safe. And in exchange, I do work for them if it comes up. They might come in with some spare parts, and I install them, or patch them up if they get hurt.
I'm assuming you don't ask a lot of questions about where these spare parts come from.
No, I don't, because I like breathing.
You said you owed him something.
Yeah. Just a little misunderstanding, you know. We were going to talk about it. That's the last thing I remember. Ripper buzzing me at my door. And then I woke up here.
Not a lot to work with, really. Perhaps they kidnapped us? Imani from her quarters, me from the bar? Would it be fair to say, Finley, that your friend, Ripper, might have sold you out to our captors?
Keep your fucking speculation to yourself.
Ah, I've touched a nerve. How surprising.
Are either of you familiar with the term emotional labor?
What?
Screw it. Never mind. New topic. New question. Zuck, how come I can understand you?
I'm sorry? What do you mean?
I wasn't sure at first, but since we've been talking today, I'm hearing different words than you're saying. Your mouth moves and you're talking in whatever language you know, but I hear you talk in my language, English.
Oh, why didn't I notice that? You're right. You're doing the same thing.
That's creepy. So, we're talking to each other in our heads?
Well, I don't know this language, English. Is it possible?
Good evening, everyone. I trust you are enjoying the meal our dear Cries laid out for you.
Yeah, Cal. Best food a kidnap victim could want, I guess.
I did enjoy the garlicked bread.
I'll let her know then.
Is it almost...
Oh, yes. In a short while. I thought I would sit and talk with you all, though. See if I could answer any questions.
Imani makes a fair point, Caliban. You have kidnapped us. You are holding us against our will. Why this pretense of caring what we think?
I know it may seem hard to believe, but we do care what you think. Management very much wanted to take pains to provide you with a sense of, of mortal normalcy. You have your own rooms, a bit of privacy. You can get food here whenever you like, and the three of you rotate who chooses a door at each station. So, you have a significant amount of time where you have nothing to do at all. I noticed Imani has found the library car. I hope there were some interesting tomes among the shelves.
Yeah, a lot of titles I didn't recognize too, which was interesting. I guess I hear what you're saying, Cal, but this is... It's fucking nuts, man. You've got us locked up in here, and you send us to these terrible places.
It's torture.
Why is it that we die inside the doors, and then we live again?
There are some things I can't fully explain, for which I apologize. As I said when we first met, the three of you are special in your own way. Your choices here, and I know it's cruel what we do to you. Your choices matter. They are the heart of the project. You're doing important work for us, even if you cannot see it.
When do we get to go home?
Home?
Yeah. When do I get to get back to my clan? And Zook to his crew, and Finley his garage.
We'll have to see, won't we? The project has goals it has to meet. I'll speak with management, though. Ask them if they can give me an estimate.
Why, if you don't mind me asking, why do you and Cries look so different?
We're from very different places. We have different lineages.
You said, mortal normalcy before. Does that mean you're not...
Mortal?
Yeah. Are your lineages not... whatever, mortal?
We are most assuredly not mortal, no. I know it may be hard to tell, given my cheery disposition, but Cries and I are very different than the three of you, from very different places. We operate on on another level.
What does that mean? Different level. Where do you come from?
As the saying goes, our time is up. I'll have to see one of you to your doors. I'm very sorry. I quite liked our conversation, though. Hopefully we can continue it later. Now then, who will be getting off at this station? I believe your choices are a door called 1 Year, and a door called Jailbird.
Finley.
I can't. Please.
Come on, man. We both did it. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's easy, but do you really want one of us to go through that again? Just so you don't have to?
I am... shit.
Coward.
I'm afraid I'll need an answer. Findley, it sounds as if your cohorts believe it is your turn.
No, please. I can't do it. This isn't... You can't make me.
Actually, I promise you, I can make you. Though I do not want to. Imani? Zook? If Findley will not go to the station by choice, I will escort him. If one of you would care to go again, that's perfectly acceptable to myself and management. As Cry said, who leaves the train is ultimately up to the three of you, as long as someone chooses a door at each station. You asked me, Zook, how I operate on a different level from you, and this is one of those ways. The choices you mortals make are precious, important. So, will one of you go in Findley's stead?
No.
No.
All right then.
No! Please! Please! Get your hands off me! No! You can't make me go! You can't make me go! Please don't make me go! No, please! Help! Help me! You can't make me go! Please!
Please, sir, right this way.
Help me, please! Someone help! Get your hands off me! Get off! Please let go! I can't. Please! I don't want to go!
Mr. Findley, can you hear me?
I thought they fucking screened these guys.
They did, to my knowledge.
Why did he do it? Why? They didn't... It's not supposed to happen. Oh... It's not supposed to happen!
Damn it, sit down!
You won't do it to me. Not again. Not again!
I think we'll have to call in outside assistance.
What are you thinking? Warden?
No. Your warden is a touch violent for this kind of work.
When will it end?
I'll get in touch with the architect. Perhaps she can send down someone from the alienists' lodge.
Sounds good. Make the call. I don't know how long this guy's gonna hold it together.
Imani?
Over here.
You weren't kidding.
Nope.
There's a little forest in this car.
Yep.
How big is it?
Not that big? I think the space is still a train car in size, if that makes sense. But it's all, I don't know, sideways to how you'd expect it.
Were these chairs here when you found the place?
Yep. I'm assuming at this point, but if we can get into a place, we're meant to be here, so.
Mind if I sit?
I'm not gonna stop you. Has Finley stopped?
No, not that I could hear. I'm sure he'll snap out of it. It took us a while as well. How many cars have you been through?
This is number 19, and that includes the 2 sleeper cars, the bar, and the cafe car.
Anything else interesting?
Oh, loads. I think there's a car especially for you at the far end. There's an inner door with a big water tank.
That's basically what my bunk is like.
Yes, but this one has some kind of coral in it. Little creatures, maybe snacks.
Huh. I'll have to take a look.
Let's see. There's an armory with all kinds of bladed weapons. Some kind of temple. A lounge with a green velvet couch. All kinds of things. This is a weird train, man.
Bane, is it that time already?
I guess. I thought we'd have a bit more.
Imani, look. Would you join us in the bar, please?
Well, that's new.
What if we just...
I mean, I would just to screw with him, but I want a drink. And I don't want to get thrown around the place, you know?
Fair enough. Wait a tick. We're not going to do this forever, are we?
I mean, they say they're immortal. Our version of forever might not apply anymore.
How can you be so nonchalant about all this?
2 reasons. First and foremost, I'm faking it. I promise you, I'm just as scared as you are. I just have more experience, I guess. I've been dealing with weird shit for a long time. Second reason is, I don't know. There's just a lot going on here. Don't you feel it? This is also cultivated. I think they need us more than we need them, if that makes sense. When they're not body checking Finley into the wall, they've treated us pretty well.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I mean, we have to keep searching. Somewhere on this train, there are answers to be found, my fine finned friend. So we keep looking. Or, you know, they kill us. Permanently and horribly. One of the two.
That makes a hideous kind of sense. Damn it. Have a drink with me?
Sure. Who the hell else am I gonna drink with?
Took you long enough.
Good to see you too, Cries.
Can I get you both a drink?
Whiskey. Neat.
Same? Hey, we stopped, right? Why are we moving again?
We stopped to bring on someone to speak with Mr. Findley. They're working with him right now.
Did something happen?
Oh, no. He's fine. He just needed a bit of assistance after his experience. The first time in a room can be very distressing, as you've both seen.
So, why did you call us in?
Partially to explain why we'd stopped. Partially to ask which of you will be leaving the train next. And partially to give you these.
Is that a tape recorder?
It is. One for each of you.
What is this?
Physical media. You record audio onto a plastic tape embedded with magnetic powder. The magnet in the device captures the waveform.
Huh. And why are we getting these things?
Management is afraid you'll go crazy.
Now. They're a way for you to track your thoughts. To keep a sense of continuity through this stressful time.
Is this optional?
Of course. If you don't find it helpful, no need to use them.
But, hang on to them either way. All right?
Sure.
So, death, then?
Yeah. Who goes this time?
I'll go. I think I'm ready. I've had a break.
Are you sure? Isn't it my turn?
I got this. But, Caliban, I want to ask some more questions.
This isn't a trade. We stop. Someone dies. There's no tit for tat here.
Cries, we're here to help. I'm happy to answer any questions I can.
All right. Let's... Hey, Finley.
Imani. Zook. Hello.
Are you feeling all right?
I'm fine. Much better. I've had a good conversation with the woman from the lodge. She helped me to see how important it is for us to be here.
You did something to him, didn't you?
Just helped me to see Imani. Now I can see.
I know he seems somewhat strange right now. Don't worry. He'll be back to his old self soon. It's just a form of mood stabilization. A way for him to divorce himself from his fear.
I think I like him better this way.
Sociopaths.
Watch your mouth, fish.
Oh, talking in the lounge car, and a horseman rode up alongside us, dressed all in black. It's tall, taller than the train. The horse sits on his... It looks like a corpse. The rider wears a hood. From within the dark hood are large horns, like a steer. I can see its eyes. They're full of hate. Hating.
And I looked, and beheld a pale horse. His name that sat upon him was Death. Power was given unto him to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with the beasts of the earth. The power of the elder beings, the powers of the mount, and the grove, and the far, and the hells. The power of choice and suffering unending. The power of the grey rooms.
Sir, this here is the warden.
Choose a door and step through.
Why?
Because if you don't, I'll kill you.
You can call me Bob, Mr. Beckett. Everyone else does.
We have worked together for some time now, you and I, overseen several iterations of the rooms. You have attended dozens of guests. You are one of the pillars of the Grey Rooms, Bob. I trust you. More than that, I like you. Tell me I have nothing to worry about. Tell me that you have a handle on this.
You have nothing to worry about. I have a handle on this. I merely wish to understand...
Enough! We have allowed this charade to go on long enough. Bob, Admiral Beckett has done more for the project in this last few days than you have in years.
I was unaware that my commitment to the project was in question.
The Warden's deterioration, the many little hiccups with Todd's time in the rooms, the loss of Miss Winters. I am deeply and fundamentally questioning your competence.
Overreich, attendant to the Grey Rooms. I, Belial, hold your chain, but I have held it for too long, old friend. Allowed it to go slack. It is time I passed its links to another. A master that will be more attentive. Warden?
opened my eye and stared up at the colorless ceiling. I had been the project's attendant for centuries, and now I was trapped inside the Grey Rooms. It brought a weak smile to my face, a grimace that caused my cracked lips to bleed and the pain in my head to intensify. We'd worked so hard to imitate the cheap concrete of Raymond's realm. I clearly remembered conversations about pore striations, how cold the cells should be, how much flickering the lights should do. All to manipulate a mortal. All to shape his state of mind. Our first fumbling effort to control the guest, to fulfill the project's potential, and what had the Admiral said? Draw forth blood from a stone. Now, these cells lingered here, deep beneath the walls of Dis, a memento from that turning point in the project, when Belial's bid for power had finally, unmistakably, borne delicious fruit. The perfect place to hold a demon who was no longer of use to the project. Old Wolverike. Old Bob. Old me. I sat up on my threadbare cot, taking in the grim walls, the small table, the metal chair. I had no sense of how much time had passed since that meeting in the Founder's Tower. At some point, someone, the warden, I assumed, had dressed me in a set of gray cotton pants and a simple gray shirt. The very same clothes we'd given to Raymond, in fact. In the dim light, I could see my breath condensing in the chill air. I reached up to gently touch the filthy bandage covering my left eye socket. A dull ache spread from that wound up into my skull. I was still getting used to having just one eye, and this throbbing reminder of the mindworm's tender ministrations made it difficult to focus, to rally my thoughts. I needed to get my feet back under me. I needed to get moving. I knew if I could just focus, just push past this pain, there was something I could do. I had to do something before.
Hey there, buddy. I see you. Welcome back to the waking world.
Warden. My only reliable way of counting time was the Warden's regular visits. He delighted in reminding me that he now held my chain, that he could do with me whatever he wanted.
What do you think, Bob? You have to spend in a little time together?
I'd much rather rest and recuperate, if you don't mind. Perhaps you could send Todd down with some tea.
Weak little worm. Listen to you, sniveling like a mortal.
Have you had tea recently? It's quite delicious.
You've changed, old friend. I've been telling you for centuries. All this time with mortals has made you soft. Rotted you from the inside out.
Agree to disagree, old friend. And if I have changed, well, isn't that something worth celebrating?
You should have heard the Founder. Just like you, all teary and pathetic. He thinks I can fix you. Thinks if I can break you hard enough, we can put you back together the way you used to be. But you and I know better, don't we, Bob? It's It's just going to be you and me down here for the rest of eternity.
You know, an upside of being your prisoner is that I no longer have to pretend your inane ramblings contain some kind of deep meaning. Do you ever get tired of hearing yourself talk?
So, you want the pain to be particularly bad today? Oh, puppies.
Every visit was different. Sometimes he came down in person to treat me to quality time with his chains and blades. I'd been stalked by other demons in his service, by mortal soldiers brought into the hells by the Admiral. Once he had imported a horned beast from the grove to chase me down these endless corridors. It had the leering skull of a deer for a head, and hooves shod with horns and barbed wire. It pursued me for what seemed like weeks, before he let me rest again. Recently, he'd grown fond of unleashing the literal hounds of hell to snap at my heels. To be honest, it was getting a little old.
Better run, Bob. Better run fast. Or maybe this time, I'll forget to call them off.
This was all a game to the Warden. He was no longer interested in anything I had to say, any observations I might have had about the project, any secrets. Now I was nothing more than an amusement. That is why I ran. Because I knew if I stood and tried to fight, if I did anything other than put on a good show, he'd get bored. And a bored Warden was far, far more terrifying than one who was amused. I ran for what seemed like hours, but eventually my strength began to flag. I'd been exhausted when he'd thrown me into these cells, and without any chance to rest, I'd been getting weaker and weaker with each visitation. The hellhounds ran me down, taking out my legs, pulling me to the cold floor of the grey rooms. So cold, it burned. My hot blood steamed on the concrete as they tore into me. He let them use me as a plaything, batting me about the floor, tearing at chunks of my flesh, ravaging my grey clothes. He let them toy with me for a long, long time. Until his bloodlust was sated. Until I'd stopped screaming and just lay there, trembling in agony. My good eye was caked closed with blood, and so I heard, rather than saw, the beasts trotting off down the corridor. Back to their infernal kennel.
Have a good night, Bob. Rest up. I'll see you again. Real soon. Toodaloo.
I lay there, unable to move. I could already feel my wounds beginning to close. It would take days, even weeks, for them to fully heal. If I was patient, I'd be able to crawl back to my cot within just a few hours. This was why the warden was so happy to hold my chain. He could play as rough as he wanted with me, assured in the knowledge that eventually I'd be whole again, and ready for more torment. My body lay broken in the flickering, dark light of the hallway. I was too exhausted even to weep, and too full of self-hatred to care. For after all, hadn't I laid the groundwork for my own suffering? We say that the choices of the guests mark them as special, but we demons make choices as well, and mine had damned me to a hell of my own creation. In the shadows, I heard movement. Soft, furtive, a footstep. Hello. That was new. If it was a torment dreamed up by the warden, it was effective. Snarling beasts I could handle. Quiet movements in the dark weren't really his style. I tried to open my eye, rubbing at my face with my hand. Through the crimson fog that filled my vision, I thought I could make out a figure standing a dozen paces away at the end of the hallway. I squinted. He looked familiar. Raymond, our first guest, the man this complex had been built for. I'd known intellectually that he was down here somewhere. I was, after all, the one who'd kept him here. But these passages were an endless maze. I'd never once considered. Raymond, please. I know. I'm sorry, but... Can you help me? He regarded me silently. The flickering light didn't allow me to see the expression on his face. He merely raised a hand, pointing off down the corridor to his right. I don't understand. He stood there, mute. I blinked, trying to clear my vision, and he must have taken the few steps needed to clear the hallway. When I looked again, he was gone. Raymond. No answer. No movement. Digging deep, I called on the last of my strength and hauled myself upright. Using a hand on the wall, I managed, after several tries, to stand. My clothes were in tatters, and blood pooled in footprints as I slowly, agonizingly slowly, made my way down the hall. I reached the end and peered down the right-hand passage. He was there, again, at the far end. He held out a hand, beckoning me forward. Please, I'm exhausted, Raymond. Will you help me? My legs shuddering underneath me, I continued to shamble forward. I was within just a few feet of him when he stepped off down a side passage, not even glancing back behind him. This little game went on for long minutes. The mortal stuck to the shadows, never allowing me a look at his face. He never spoke, no matter what I said to him, no matter how much I begged. Finally, as I dragged myself down what seemed just another corridor, Raymond held out his hand. Palm out. Stop. I did, and nearly collapsed. He pointed. I looked, and realized I was standing before a door. That was not terribly unusual down here, but most of the loci had been loaded out years ago, the doorways left hanging empty. This vast warren of hallways left to rot. Somehow, we'd missed one. A plaque glimmered in the dim light, and I could just make out a flickering illumination beyond the hinges. The sign said, simply, invasive. What is this? He gestured, and the door swung open. You want me to go through? The figure nodded. It made a certain kind of sense. The rooms, terrible as they were, paled in comparison to the endless torment I'd find in these dour halls. I'd no doubt return here upon exiting the room, but perhaps this might be my only chance. A chance to set the warden on his heels, to find an exit. And all because of Raymond. Thank you. I don't know why you're doing this, but thank you. Even in the end, he said nothing. Merely watched as I took a few steps forward. Watched as the power of the rooms claimed me. And watched as the door closed behind me. For all I know, he's watching there still. In the darkness. In the cold. Of the grey rooms. Prior to this occasion, it had been a considerable amount of time since I'd actually gone through one of the grey rooms. My reintroduction was deeply unpleasant. But as I lay there on the cold floor of the complex, I could feel that some of the old magic was still at play. Many of my wounds from the warden's playtime had healed. My headache was just a dull lump behind my left eye. I rose and pressed my back against the wall, bracing myself. I was still so very, very tired. Slowly, tenderly, I unwrapped the bandage that hid my empty socket. I lifted my hand to my face, traced the edges of my ocular cavity. The left side of my vision was still a haze. Apparently, the power of the rooms was insufficient, or it was disinclined to restore my eye.
Oh!
Todd.
Yeah, it's me. How you holding up?
I was ripped apart by hellhounds not that long ago, and just emerged from a loci. So I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
What do you want? Has the warden given you leave to taunt me as a reward for your service?
Oh, I'd never. Listen, I have a lot to say, not a lot of time to say it. Things are changing in the rooms, in management. Changing fast, faster than I've ever seen.
And here I thought you all would get along fine without me.
Damn it, man, I'm here to help you. Let me talk, will you?
Very well.
The Admiral has set everything on its ear. His recruits are the Founder's new favourite toys. They've been doing things. I'm not sure what, lots of talking, and then they head off on some kind of missions. The Architect's in a tizzy. There's been some kind of big shake-up with the board. She's been in meetings non-stop with folks from other realms, like all kinds of weird creatures tromping through the tower. Like they own the place. And there's a new version of the project up and running. It's weird. Weird even by our standards.
This is all fascinating, I'm sure. Why are you telling me?
I'm telling you because they're distracted. They're not thinking about you right now. And I think I can help you escape.
Escape. You and I both know that will never happen. Even if you were able to pull me out of the complex, where would I go? They'd discover it was you, Todd. You know they would. If the Warden finds out that you're talking to me, go back to your job. Stay safe. My time with the project is over. Nothing can change that now.
The project? You bloody idiot!
What?
You think I'm in here risking my skin for what? Shits and giggles? So I can get you back on the project? I'm your friend, you arsehole. I had to call in a bunch of favours to get things set up and reach out to... Look, I know it'd be a lot safer, a lot easier to leave you rotting down there. Easier for me, anyway. I'm not. You got people to want you free, and I can help you, so I will. I know what you think of us mortals. And you're right, every time you point out what a shit I was, I'll Barbie the boot with it, that's still true, yeah. But that's why I gotta do this, right? Because even though I talk like that bloke, the one who blew up the domes, even though I got his name and remember his chili recipe and all that, I ain't him, Bob. I just ain't. I don't have to prove that to nobody, but I want to know. So I'm here, helping your sad sack self find a way to jolly old freedom. You're always joying on to the guests about how their choices make them special, eh? Well, I'm choosing.
I quite literally had no idea what to say to that. The idea that Todd Mathis, of all people, would attempt to set me free. It was insane. But then, I looked up and down the endless corridors that stretched out to my left and right. What did I have to lose? Todd. Thank you. I did not expect this. Nor, on some level, do I think I deserve it.
You're a right arse of a demon, you know that.
I have been told as much, yes. So, what is your plan?
Plan's still in the works. Right now, I just need you to hang tighter than a crab's arsehole.
In the works?
I don't know how you figured out how to find one of the working doors down there, but that put the Warden into all kinds of fits. Do you think you can do it again?
Perhaps. I'll try.
Good. Shit, I'm gonna get out of here. Look, stay safe, alright? Find another door that'll throw the Warden off your trail for a while. We'll talk again soon.
Wait. What is this plan? God damn it, Todd. I stood on unsteady legs. I brushed my hands across my gray clothing, trying my best to remove the dirt and grime. And with my head held high, I moved off into the complex. For the first time in a very, very long while, I felt a bit like my old self. I might have been exhausted, defeated, but now I had a purpose. Even if it was given to me by a mortal. I had a purpose, but no idea how to find another working door. My knowledge of the original Grey Rooms was long years out of date. I'd asked management to keep the complex around as a kind of keepsake. The architect was extremely sentimental. After she took over the project, she thoroughly approved of the minor expenditure of resources required. The complex was originally built to confuse a mortal mind, to torment Raymond in a way unique to him, as well as provide him just enough succor between doors to keep him emotionally stable. After the incident that led to the conclusion of his time in the rooms, my orders had been to have him destroyed. I had ignored them. One of my first small acts of rebellion against management. I am still not quite sure why. Why did I allow the remnants of his mortal consciousness to remain? Why keep him here? I know some in the Alienist Lodge believe in signs and portents, but I do not. Still, it appeared that even after all these years, after everything that had transpired, the first guest of the Grey Rooms was still of some use. Raymond! Raymond, if you're still there, I need your help. I need to find a working door. I need you to lead me to a room. Please. I stood there in the darkness of the halls for long moments. I listened, hoping that he was nearby, that he was in the mood. And then, there he was, at the far end of the hall. A silhouette, a darkness against the deeper night. Raymond. Thank you. Where should I go? Can you lead me, like you did before? Wordlessly, he regarded me. I could just make out the light reflected off of his eyes. Twin mirrors. He turned and began to move, but this time he did not walk. He ran. Raymond, wait! For a mortal that had been trapped in this maze as long as he had, Raymond moved with surprising speed. I didn't understand why, until I heard the sound.
Oh, Bob.
He'd known. Somehow Raymond had known. The warden had returned.
Why are you running, Bob? Do you think you can outrun me? Do you think you can outrun pain? Oh, no.
I didn't bother to reply. I needed to focus. My weary mortal shell was beyond the point of exhaustion. I put one foot in front of another, my eyes on Raymond's fleeing form.
And I love our little chat so much. But if you're not feeling talkative, then I guess it's time for the screams to start. The architect's pretty birdie hasn't been out of its cage in so long. Oh. She mentioned she wanted to let it stretch its wings. And I knew just what to do. Run.
was all I could do to keep my legs moving. Stride after stride. Raymond was always a hallway's length ahead of me, just disappearing around a turn. Sometimes I saw him pause to catch sight of me before he ducked around a corner, and I thought, in the dim moments where I could see his face, he was smiling.
Oh, it's going to be good. I've got a little snack and everything. And I can't wait to share this with the rest of management later.
And then, one more corner, and he was there, standing at the far end of the hall, that dark figure, his arm raised, pointed off to the side, my side. I looked and saw the telltale glimmer beneath the doorway, and not a moment too soon. The architect's beast rounded the turn. A nightmare in feathers and leathery skin. It barely fit inside the tight corridor. Its horrific skull scraping against the ceiling. Stubby wings dripped ichor onto the cement from clipped and broken pinions. And its eyes. Terrible and malevolent. And worst of all, human. All too undeniably human. Came, she called him. Most mortal realms had known him once as Cain. She'd never told me how she'd come to keep him as a pet, and I'd never asked. Now, he towered over me, only a few arm lengths away, hungry for pain and sorrow and death. I grabbed the doorknob and flung it wide.
No. How? Don't let him escape!
I threw myself at the doorway, being careful of the edges. For a fraction of a second, I could hear the sound of the beast's screams mingling with my own. Then the shimmer of the loci broke upon my face like water, shutting out sound and light, and finally, thought. Blinded, deafened, and alone, I fell. I fell forever. I was beginning to understand, experientially, why the guests were always so out of sorts when they returned from a room. Being unceremoniously dropped back into this endless maze was deeply irritating. I cautiously got to my feet, looking around warily in the darkness. No birds. It appeared I would have a few moments of calm before the madness began again. Cautiously, I flexed my limbs. I felt, if not quite myself, then better. My mortal shell had been injured severely by the warden's visitations, with the exception of my eye, which appeared to be well and truly gone. I finally felt whole again. All thanks, it seemed, to the Grey Rooms. The irony of a jailer made whole by time within his own prison was not lost on me. Raymond! I called out into the darkness. Raymond? Silence. Todd, can you hear me? Nothing. Wait. No. Not nothing. In the distance, I heard it. The sound of chains. I didn't pause. I didn't wait. I turned. And I ran.
Bob, did you miss me? Bob?
I should have known. After escaping him twice, the warden wouldn't be content to leave the dirty work to beasts. He'd want to deal with me himself. Once again, the warden stalked a hapless victim through these grey and unrelenting halls. Once again, I found myself on the run.
Where are you going, buddy? You know there's nowhere to go. Are you hoping to find another door? Oh, well, bad news. I still don't know where you managed to find them down here. But that's not going to happen again. I've made sure of it.
I found myself dealing with a paradox of success. I finally felt strength in my limbs once again. I ran with long, looping strides. If it came to it, I thought I might be able to hold my own against his assault, for at least a little while. And yet, now that I'd finally had time to recuperate, I found I very much did not want to be torn apart by his rusty blades. Not again. And so, I ran.
Why run, old friend? You know how this is going to end. It always ends the same way. With you and I.
I didn't bother to respond. He would flay me alive now or later. It was just a matter of time. True. But for the first time in a long time, I felt some of that old fire return. I'd been so tired for so long. I didn't care if I succeeded. I wasn't going to make it easy for him. As I rounded yet another corner in this endless grey maze, I heard a familiar sound. And despite my situation, a tight smile slipped onto my face. Todd.
Mercy, run! Don't let him get you, Bob!
Todd, get out of here, you little worm.
No, sir. Not this time, sorry, Warden.
When I get done with Bob, you're next. And this time, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to rip your soul apart and throw you screaming bloody meat into the pit. To burn and burn and burn.
You know, Warden, after all this time, all your threats about meat and burning, they're just not that scary anymore. Respectfully, sir, eat my ass, you fucking psychopath!
As amusing as this exchange was, I felt my lungs start to burn. The warden's fury would carry him further, longer than my determination. Todd, I could use some help down here.
I know. The plans come together, don't you worry.
What plan?
Just follow my directions, all right? I've got to get you to, just go where I say. Up ahead, quick, take a left.
And so began one of the strangest experiences of my long life. As I was pursued like hunted game through the unending corridors of the Grey Rooms, the man I once kept imprisoned guided me through its twisted, benighted halls. All the while, like a hound who had caught the scent of blood, the warden gave chase.
Just give in, Bob. Just give in. I can torture you while you're fresh, or torture you while you're tired. Doesn't matter to me.
Without Todd's directions, I would have been hopelessly lost. I rounded turn after turn, past door after door. This original construct was a template, the blueprint we used for every version of the rooms since. It was, of course, why to this day we still called them the Grey Rooms. Now I was struck by how simple they were, how uncomplicated. A callback to a time when my thoughts fled as my feet found themselves cemented in place. At the far end of the hall stood a relic I thought long since destroyed. What in all the hells? Todd, is this...
Oh, good, you found the gate.
At the end of the hall, the corridor widened out to a massive chamber that I knew for certain had not been part of the facility's design. Dominating the chamber was a single, massive, wrought iron gate. I was staring, somehow, at the front entrance to the Iron Keep, the iteration of the rooms which had been Todd's prison. How? This isn't possible.
Look, it's complicated. I'll explain later. You've got to get the gate open and get inside. Warden's coming up fast.
I jogged to the base of the portcullis. The Iron Keep hadn't been much of a step up from Raymond's prison. Just a flagstone maze with a few common rooms to keep the guest amused. Except for when Todd had first entered. To my knowledge, the gate had never been opened. I could see the rusted mechanism beyond. There was no way to lift it from this side. Well, no easy way.
It'll be on you soon. If you can get inside, it'll slow him down. We can, get on with the plan.
If your goal is to infuriate me, and therefore spur me to action, it is working.
Come on, Paul. There's a little gate. You got this. Quick now.
I rolled my eyes, squared my shoulders, and knelt before the massive gate. My mortal form had been refined and improved numerous times over the many years of the project. By necessity, it kept my demonic strength in check. When I'd been removed from the project, the warden had insisted on keeping me in the shell I'd crafted for the Admiral's time in the rooms. As my chain holder, he could force me to stay within its confines, force me to act out the part of weak, pathetic mortal. But I was far more myself now than I had been in some time. I felt at home in this mortal form. I was, after all, the attendant to these dark halls. I had lived and breathed their air for centuries. I was Wolverike. And I was not going to spend the rest of eternity down here as the warden's plaything.
yours in no time. And when I do, I'll peel you out of that suit and climb inside your guts.
Within the old keep, the odd torch still guttered in iron sconces upon the walls. The doors were gone, of course, but the empty frames stared out from the stone walls like lidless eyes. On some level, I was still in shock. I thought the keep had been cleared away, torn down long ago. The fact that it was still here, deep within the walls of Dis. Clearly I had been deeply out of touch with the project I was supposed to be managing. Surprises on surprises. Speaking of surprises... Todd! Are you still there? Where am I going?
I'm still here. I won't be for long. Look, you're doing great. Just follow the main hallway to the dining hall, you know how it used to go. And when you get here, stay put. It'll take the warden a good while to get into the keep. You'll have to go the long way round. I'm going to bounce out of here and I'll make my way down to you. Might be a tick or two. I have a feeling things will be a bit hairy between there and here. Just sit tight, okay? I'll see you soon.
I did indeed recall the way to the dining hall, even after all these years. The main corridor of the castle was enormous, a cavernous chamber that just went on and on. As I walked, I mused about the decades I'd spent in this structure, the number of times I'd tried to wrangle Todd through one of these doors, the number of times I'd had to collect his broken, bloody remains from crimson-soaked flagstones. My exertions at the portcullis and the stress of the day weighed upon me. My stride slowed. And as the lights of the dining hall approached, I looked forward to a seat on one of the many wooden benches that... I stopped, struck dumb for the second time today. The enormous room had, at its center, a pair of high-backed chairs, the royal thrones for the king and queen of the keep. They'd been useful props during Todd's time within these walls, but had sat vacant, gathering dust since his departure. That was no longer true. The king's throne had been toppled. It had fallen from the dais upon which they sat, broken into pieces on the flagstones. A figure sat atop the queen's throne, a familiar figure. She saw me, standing in the doorway, and stood. Her hair fell to her shoulders, and her clothes hung like royal finery from her petite frame. Her eyes burned with intensity, but, incredibly, she was smiling. Sam. Samantha.
Hey there, Bob. Did you miss me?
in the Grey Rooms. It's a hotel this time. An old one, and I am in charge. Your name is Samantha Winters. You can't leave. I know everything. And as for who I am, my actual name you wouldn't like, but he called me Bob. Samantha Winters, an art student swept up in the furor of a cult. She was touched by an eldritch power pretending to be a penitent god, and died after a centuries-long rule as Earth's cruel and unforgiving deity.
You blame a cat when it plays with a mouse? I could, so I didn't. I was a god.
Well, you're no god here, are you?
Yes, and it's a bit of a bitch, Bob.
Fascinating. So you don't regret it? Any of it?
I only regret it's over. Happiest time of my life.
Bob, please. Tell me those tapes aren't real. That she's not me.
I make it a point not to lie.
How is that possible? How are she and I the same person? I don't feel that way at all.
Why did Samantha leave the project?
This isn't something we can discuss with you, Mr. Beckett.
Well, it's interesting, Alma. You see, when Bob and I met, he mentioned there'd been an incident not that long ago. He said the repercussions were unpleasant. Now, if Samantha was the guest just before me, that would mean the incident was during her time on the project. Wouldn't it?
The walls of the Iron Keep soared above me as I stared up into the face of a woman I hadn't seen in a very, very long time. She descended the dais like royalty. The last time I'd seen her, she'd worn the simple street clothes we'd given her in the old hotel. Now she wore a black gown inlaid with onyx-colored pearls. A jade choker was a dark green and gray line across her throat. A curved blade hung in a scabbard from a sling, its hilt inscribed with runes. Perhaps my time in the rooms, my time with the warden, had fractured my sanity. Or, I mused, this was some kind of manipulation. A mind-crafted illusion of the kind Alma was so skilled at creating. Samantha Winters reached ground level, and now I had to look down to meet her gaze. She was still a foot shorter than I was. She must have seen some of the thoughts cross my face, because her mouth screwed itself up into a crooked grin.
You're not crazy, Bob. And I'm not an illusion or whatever. I'm here.
How?
How am I here? Or how am I not burning forever at the bottom of the hells?
Both.
Your second question's got a long answer. One I don't think we have time for right now. As to why I'm here, let's just say I have some friends who want you safe. So, here I am.
She seemed terribly pleased with herself then, in that moment.
Now I am the one who has the secrets to keep.
I don't understand.
Same old Bob. And he said you changed.
Who? Samantha, I'm pleased to see you. But the warden, he's right behind me. If he finds us here, I'm not sure I can protect you.
Oh, don't worry about me. I can take care of myself these days.
She hefted the blade at her side to emphasize her point.
But you're right. We need to get moving.
She turned, scanning the room, as if hoping to see someone there. As she did, I saw the changes I had overlooked in those first few moments of recognition. Well-healed scars ran down her neck. Her hair, which had always been a golden hue, had faded to bone white. If this was not a trick, an illusion, the Samantha that stood before me had been through a very great deal since our last encounter.
Damn it. He should be here by now.
The surge of strength, of confidence that had gotten me past the keep's gate, fled my body. I staggered to a nearby bench and slumped down onto it.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I have also been through a great deal since we last saw each other.
Huh. Maybe you have changed. How did you,
lose my eye?
Yeah.
The warden.
Right.
Samantha.
Save it. This is... Boy, this is even more awkward than I thought it'd be. Look, I know a lot more about the project, about you, than I ever did during my time in the rooms. I know you were just doing your job, doing what you thought was the right thing to do. If you had to do it over again, would you still toss me in that pit?
My instinct was to prevaricate, to hem and haw. But my exhaustion got the better of me, and my mouth opened of its own accord. No, I would not. And it's because of you. It's because of what you did to me that day on the battlements.
What I did?
You attempted to control me, as you had with Todd.
It didn't work.
No. But somehow, when you touched my mind, it did something to me. You touched my very nature, Samantha. Demons are not supposed to be able to change, you know.
I know.
Well, I have changed. And I have no doubt it is why I am sitting here talking to you today. The warden could sense it. The architect could see it. Even the guest could tell I was different somehow. Samantha, I don't know where you've been or why you're here, but if we escape the rooms, will you help me to understand this? I feel so...
Lost?
Yes.
I will. I just need one thing from you.
Name it. Oh. Why did you hit me?
Because you threw me into hell, you asshole!
We had both changed. It was true. As she laughed at my confusion, which quickly turned to amusement, I felt some of the tension that had been holding my shoulders taut ease. For literal centuries, I had known what my future held, what my life would measure up to be. And now, I hadn't the faintest clue. But perhaps, with allies at my side. The sound of running footsteps took us both by surprise.
Whoa, Sam, it's me!
Todd? You weird old bastard, where have you been?
I was helping Mr. Smiles here get to safety. Plus, I had to stop off and get the ritual stuff, you know. Don't mind old Todd.
I felt my single remaining eye twitch in its socket. What in the hells was happening here? Wait, you two have been working together?
Sort of. Like I said, I've got some friends.
Yeah, friends. We have mutual friends.
Right.
It's good to see you in person, Miss Winters. How about a big old hug?
Not on your life, you perverted old goat.
All right. You can't blame a bloke for trying.
I can. Could we focus on our current situation? What ritual are you talking about? How long have you had these friends? Can they be trusted?
Since back during the Admiral's times in the rooms. They promised to get me out in exchange for some little favours.
What kind of favours?
Oh, you know, some information here, a little bit of gossip there, letting a big old stake into the manor, you know, things like that.
You?
Oh, this is even better than I'd expected. Look on your face.
As much as I'd love to stand around and watch Bob try to make facial expressions.
Thank you.
The three of us can catch up and answer your questions after we've escaped the warden, and the grey rooms, and certain dismemberment.
Yes. Wait. Is there any way that we could go back for Raymond?
What? Raymond?
He was the first guest, before either of you were in the rooms. The complex just beyond the keep. He's trapped there. Perhaps we could leave him instructions on where to go, someplace to meet us. He helped me before Todd could lead me to safety. I don't know why, but I would not have survived without his help. I'm sure of it.
Bob, Raymond's gone.
What do you mean, gone?
Yeah, mate, I heard the architect talking about it. They didn't know you'd kept him around. They were pretty pissed about it. Before they sent you down there, well, the warden went in and, well, cleared him out. Raymond was gone before you got dropped in there.
I don't. Then what did I see? Who was that? The woman who had once ruled a planet through fear and pain sheathed her blade and took my hand. I started uncomfortable, but she gripped it all the harder.
Bob, I've been through a lot since my time in the rooms. Enough to know not everything is explainable or understandable. Sometimes you just have to take the win when the universe gives you another shot. You know?
I'm sorry, Bob.
I can mull this over later. In the meantime, the rooms are inescapable. Magical constructs designed specifically to stop the kind of escape attempt you're describing. What is this ritual you mentioned? How in the nine hells do you propose we free ourselves?
Bob, oh boy, you are gonna love this.
I do not, in fact, love this.
Now passing the 5th floor, ladies, frilly undergarments, and perfumes.
I thought the hotel had been destroyed after...
You threw me in the pit?
Yes.
Something you gotta get used to, old man. Management, the architect, and the light, they lie about everything, it turns out. She had us break down the lobby and the hall, sure, but she picks and chooses the bits of the project that she likes and scribbles them away for a rainy day.
How did you connect this to the keep? Do you have, what did you call Samantha's gift? The whammy.
Oh, no. Miss Winters here is the heavy here. I'm just real good at taking notes, gathering materials, following instructions, stuff like that.
The whammy?
What would you call it then?
I mean, good enough, I guess.
Where are we going?
Only part of the hotel that's left, Bob, old boy.
The restaurant.
It's one of her favourite places. She used to come up here when Miss Winters was in the hotel to chat with the warden or make plans.
And we had such a lovely meal here, too.
I know you're joking, but I still think about that apple pie sometimes. You gotta give me the recipe someday.
Can we focus, please?
This is the place. All right. I could make a rabbit disappear out of a hat. Our friend said it should be as easy as putting together a batch of chili. I'll just get this set up and working. You two just, Shit. Keep them busy.
Work quickly, please.
Really quickly.
Still glad you came to get me.
Ask me after we get out of here.
I turned from Samantha, a grim smile on my face, just in time to see the warden leap onto the restaurant balcony. He wore his badge of office, the cloak of keys made by the founder in the early days of the project. It swirled about him as he drew himself up to his full height. The fury etched on his face was terrible to behold. No gloating, no threats. Not this time. He rushed towards us, and I moved to stop him. All I could do was hope I could hold him. Hope that I could buy some time for Todd to do whatever it was he was doing. I dug deep and summoned forth my last reserve of strength. I tapped into the demon within and felt my human hands snap and gnarl as they grew into clawed talons.
Todd, how long?
Just a little bit more.
Bob, fall back!
I didn't even blink. The warden's blade had left a jagged wound in my arm. It pumped dark blood onto the ground as I staggered back from my opponent. For my part, I'd managed to give as good as I'd gotten, but the warden was far sturdier than I was, had been marshalling his strength. Samantha stepped forward, her own blade held out before her.
Now, where did you come from, my dear?
Oh, you know. I missed you guys. Laugh a minute around here.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Another loose end, Bob. Another failure. Allow me to take care of that for you.
Not this time, asshole.
Samantha's strength fell down upon the rooftop like a suffocating mist. I felt myself slow, like I was caught in a mire. Todd's eyes were huge as he tried to continue his work, his fingers moving in pantomime motion among the ritual implements. The warden hung arrested in midair, his cloak billowed behind him, his blades arcing for Samantha's face. Effortlessly, she stepped to the side, unaffected by the power she had brought to bear. She strode forward, moving to stand at the warden's side.
You know, I was so afraid of you. When you had me trapped here, when I was powerless.
The warden's eyes bulged with hatred. I could see him trying to form words, but to no avail.
Well, I'm not powerless anymore. What was that you said? That first day at the hotel? Oh yeah. Say goodbye, Warden.
Samantha Winters reached out and casually brushed a hand against the warden's chest. The force of the impact blew the warden clear off the building. One moment he was there, one moment he was not. Her strength spent, Samantha sagged, and I rushed forward. My wound continued to spatter blood on the ground as I caught her, and we swayed there unsteadily.
Oh, shit. Wasn't sure that would actually work.
Most impressive, Miss Winters. Todd!
Oh no! Just about!
Todd's ritual working coalesced into a tear in space. A hole in the sky above the balcony. A hungry wound that tugged at my feet and sent my blood spatters soaring through the air to disappear into the infinite.
This is it! Our way out of the rooms!
Where does it go?
Away from here, old boy! Come on! It's a brand new day, Bob! They already fired you. What's the worst that can happen?
With those words, the old caretaker and former terrorist leapt at the tear and was gone.
You're coming, right?
I'll be right behind you.
You'd better be. You know how much of Todd I've had to put up with to make this thing come together?
She stepped to the edge of the tear, and Samantha Winters exited the grey rooms for the second time. I turned to look out across the dismal grey sky of the faux city beyond the balcony. It had been an embellishment on the architect's part for one of the hotel's few amenities. An artistic choice, not meant to create joy or wonder, but to manipulate and control, to cow the mortal mind with fear and submission. Demons are not supposed to be able to change. But I looked at that sky and felt, for the first time, a lightness inside of me. Hope for a future of my own creation. A loosening of the chain bound around my very soul. My last thoughts, as I stepped through the portal and left the grey rooms forever, were of the Founder. A man I felt sure I would never see again. But then again, for the first time in eons, I had no idea what would come next.
had no real memory beyond awakening to the gentle swaying of the carriage. Other men would have been afraid. I was not. I was calm. I didn't know why I was there, but I knew what kind of man I was. I trusted my choices. I knew that. And my name. My name was Beckett.
Admiral David Beckett. A petty war criminal who became admiral via a self-appointed title. The flourish of a narcissistic, power-hungry dictator. You died, mourned by no one. A legendarily despotic emperor who held the 12 galaxies in his fist.
A recruiter.
Yes.
I could act as your recruiter. Give me a chance and I'll prove it to you. I've met some truly twisted mortals in my time in the rooms. Perfect candidates. Let me return to some of my loci. Talk to some of the damned. I was a leader. I can be again.
And if you fail?
If I fail, well, the warden here can do with me what he pleases.
Dad, they're back. Just a moment. 3, 2, 1.
Gentlemen, you're back. Come right in.
Boss, how in the heck do you do that?
Oh, you know me, John. I have my ways. Take a seat, please. How did it go?
God was with us, Master. Our assignment was a complete success. What is your will? What more may we do for you?
Grigori, your enthusiasm is impressive, but those of us with artistic minds and a mortal constitution need time to rest and recuperate.
Yeah, what Brand said. I don't have it in me for another trip like that anytime soon. I mean, you two mostly got to stand by and watch me do my thing.
I take exception to that, Warlock.
As do I. The Almighty invested me with great gifts, Jonathan. It was for a higher purpose, one I am pleased to carry out.
We work for the other side now, lover of the Russian queen. You, my cat, are really far gone.
Why do you insist on calling me that?
Enough. Brand, the situation was dealt with?
Yes, my plan worked perfectly. The demonic soldiers were dealt with. The scroll work I forged should prove enlightening when their master finds it among the dead. This Duke Mammon will be most displeased.
Good work. Very good work. No discipline problems this time, John?
Oof. You wound me, boss. What you call lack of discipline, I call feeling my oats.
He speaks the truth, Master. This time.
Good to hear.
Dad, the architect is heading this way. You've got a little time, but she does not seem happy.
Gentlemen, apologies. My infernal senses tell me my employer is on her way. As you may recall, she is not overly fond of mortals. Why don't you return to the barracks? We'll speak more this evening. You can consider yourselves on leave until further notice.
As you wish, Master.
Thank you, sir.
You got it, boss. Rasputin, the Russian queen. It was a cat who really was gone.
I mean, you were the one that wanted to be a leader again, Dad.
The next time I get a great idea like that, you have my permission to smack me.
You and I both know my ghost hands aren't gonna smack anything.
A fair point. Where is she now?
She's working her way up the tower the slow way. She looks really mad.
Any idea what's got her wings in a twist?
No. I've started getting a read off the mortals when I far see now, but the demons are still like blank walls.
All right. Might as well do some work while we're waiting. Bring up the map, son. Let's see where we are. Let's count their trip up to the fourth circle as a success, then. Go ahead and color that part of his territory green. Mammon and the other dukes will eventually figure out where the teams are coming from.
I feel like it's as much luck as planning. I know you like the group you've assembled here, but they're not exactly what I'd call subtle.
It's a fair point. Remind me to ask Todd to arrange another trip into the Lochi. Some of these new rooms they've arranged for the Silver Express have potential for recruitment.
I will. Let's see. I mean, Dad, based on everything we talked about from the beginning, we're there. If the Dukes of the 4th and 5th circles aren't at war within the next few weeks, I'm not sure what else we could have done to push them over the edge.
What about this fortress over here? Have we sent a team in there?
That's, Clonic's counting house. He's some kind of infernal accountant, I guess. One of Lucifer's favorites.
Dangerous to send a team, then.
What if you went yourself? Made it more about a conversation than the team normally likes to.
You're saying Brand's tendency to cut throats for paint supplies might not send the right message.
Probably not.
It's a good suggestion. In the meantime... Architect. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Mortal pablum. Meaningless words. I've had to put up with your respiration, your fluids, your oils all over everything. I am disgusted by your flesh sacks. I am done with you mortals.
I'm very sorry, Architect, about my oils. But is there something I can do for you?
There is a meeting of management assembling soon. We'll need you there, Admiral. Certain events have transpired that require an immediate response.
Movement from the other dukes? Are we on war footing?
No. Swovarike. Bob has escaped from the Grey Rooms. He was apparently assisted by Todd and an interloper from outside the walls. The warden was wounded in the escape. Apparently, quite badly.
Bob's escaped? How? I thought that was impossible.
It should have been impossible, Admiral. By all reasonable measures. By every known quantity in this realm or any other. What Bob has done should not have been possible. And yet, here I sit.
Holy shit.
Indeed. Now, if you'll accompany me downstairs, the founder will be joining us. We could use some of your vaunted mortal expertise to...
Hey there, Boss, the guys and I were wondering if,
John, now is not the best time.
You must be the boss lady I've heard so much about. Hi. Nice to meet you. My name is...
The pleasure is all mine. You know what? I take it back, Admiral. Thank you for doing the work you do. That makes me feel much better.
Glad I could help.
We'll see you downstairs then?
I'll be right down. Samuel, make a note that we'll need to go get a new John. Run far and run fast, Bob. And by the hells, I hope I don't have to chase you.
Of Choices and Trains, Part 1. Written by Michael Zenke and Arthur Unk. Musical composition is by J.M. Scherf. Episode artwork, web development, and creative direction by Cassie Pertite. Social media and Patreon management is by Brooks Bigley. Videography is by Hale Scherf. Community management is by Tori Miller. And audio engineering and sound design is by me, Jason Wilson. Well, Part 1 of a 2-part compilation known as Of Choices and Trains. Season 4 is coming to a close, and the Silver Express is running full steam ahead towards the last episode. So make sure to join us next week for Part 2 of the compilation of our season's work. We thank you, roomies, for supporting us. We truly do. And we would also like to take the time to thank our patrons and any of those who have taken the time to leave us a 5-star rating or a review. Those reviews keep us at the top of the charts and makes it easier for more twisted souls to find the show. You can find the Grey Rooms on Spotify, iTunes, or your favorite podcatcher. And we're also now available on iHeartRadio's Spreaker app. Download the iHeart Spreaker app today or open the browser and search The Grey Rooms. And we here at The Grey Rooms love our fans. And you know we always want to give back to you in the best way that we know how. We have a lot of fun things to show you, and we always hope that you like them. You can find out more by joining us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, and Facebook. And yes, we took your advice and extended an olive branch to all of the tortured souls who have passed through the rooms. Our emotional support group is always looking to help you with all of your needs. And don't forget about our merch store. It's full of epic designs and logos for you to sport, showing the world that you are a survivor of these very rooms. Now all of this can be found in the show notes or on our website at thegrayrooms.com. Now be sure to check out the Ghost Signal as well. If you want to hear real-life tales of terror, visit our friend Control Operator Jeff at theghostsignalpodcast.com. And have you checked out our Discord server? If you only listen to the podcast, you're only getting half the experience. Join for free to hang out with the Grey Room's cast and crew, watch movies, listen to music, or learn to write your very own horror story. Our community grows daily, and you can meet and interact with like-minded fans from all over the world. And the executive bathroom has just been cleaned for our top-tier patrons. And now it's messy again. Goddamn loot boxes. Fucking packing peanuts everywhere. Anyway, Part 1 of the compilation done. Next week, Part 2, and then the finale. So thank you ever so much for supporting us on this ride. We promise there's a method to our madness. So join us next week, will ya? So we can close this out with style. So till then, we love you, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a Grey Rooms production. Copyright 2022-2023. All rights reserved, unless otherwise stated.